um, we can see that the market really hasn't done much so far. Just to kind of touch on what happened on Friday after we got off, the market, just kind of did pretty much what we expected. They had that little look below, flushed out, trapped a bunch of shorts. We see the big volume of the shorts get stuck on the way back. If you're watching it live, you really saw them get stuck right there at that 45. And then, the market just started to rally towards the end of the day, one time frame up until the close, ending the day on a spike. And then with Globex here, we can see pretty much mostly trading in the spike, and spike rules indicate to us that this is showing acceptance of these higher prices. So the first thing that we're going to want to monitor for is continuation. And because of where we're at, right, we open up on a little baby gap, maybe right here. We've still got about 15 minutes until the market opens up. But that first target above is going to be that 40.15. Well, of course, after the 4,000. But that 40.15 would be the base of those singles, which is back on the 18th, where a lot of those longs got trapped. So we can kind of see if this acts as resistance, maybe our first spot of resistance on the way up. You can see if we zoom out to the daily here. Where's my daily chart? Well, we'll just start on the monthly, actually. On the monthly, you can see we're kind of just still remaining right in that range, so not much change compared to last week. On the weekly, we're one time framing higher now with the start of this week and this kind of little look above up to that 4,000. So we're one time framing higher. A key thing, right? We had a really big week last week. So honestly, you probably could do a little Fibonacci retracement on the previous weeks. But notice the close of last week, right? So we'll look at it on the profile of the close of last week, but really that's going to be the important part for buyers to kind of step above and hold that level. Oh, this is the daily. What am I on the week? Yeah, the weekly still okay. Sorry about that. So yeah, the weekly is still one time framing higher, but we're kind of trading back inside the previous week's range. But the key here really is that 40.20. I think that open of the previous week's range. Sorry about that. And then on the daily, right? The daily we're one time framing higher, but we kind of made this lower high. So the key here is going to have to be a higher high. As you see, the market's kind of condensing right here, and this is just a trend from these 2 days. But for the most part, I mean, you're still in this downtrend. We're at this very weird spot where we've got this Fibonacci 50% or 38.2% retracement. So they're kind of stepping down. If you look at it from the year's high, it's kind of that area where they're stepping into sell, respecting trend. So it's kind of a tough spot right where it's at. And we were here just, back on the 18th, right? A couple of days ago. Big liquidation down, little small move at the bottom, big move up, and then here we are right back at the same level. So, we're kind of just, I think really the key is this thing's going to have to break that high and this holiday high. I don't think the Globex high, oh, it was, yeah. So this Globex high was up here, 52. I'm just trying to see real quick if there's any like outlying levels from Globex besides those ones back there. I think not. Morning, Liquor. Oh, yeah, especially if you feel like your airways. Oh yeah. Morning, Dan. I swear this thing just like loses. There we go. So let's see what we've got. I mean, not really much to go over. I mean, the kind of the plays that we're looking for is we're just looking for. I'm looking for either acceptance right away, right? We should see acceptance either right away, and then we want to see green right away, and we'll see the tick start to pop up, and then we'll want to go with that. Um, or we'll just get more chop until they decide are they going to accept these prices, and then we can kind of just use the base of this spike. If if we get below that, then there's good odds that we're going to head a little bit lower. We do have the 200 daily moving average 39.71 right here below us, so that could be the uh, the move, I guess. If we get below that, but if not, I think I think that 1550 is going to be our target to the upside, so we're just kind of hang on for that. Let's see, does this thing say things? I need to learn how to use that Forex Factory website too. People love it. Any big earnings today? I'm buying coming in the market right now. Morning, Rose. Tommy, good morning. Dr. VJ, good morning. Got about 4 minutes. Trying to see if there was any like big earnings or anything today, but what we got today? Nothing. No earnings today. We got Lockheed Martin tomorrow. Microsoft is tomorrow. Verizon tomorrow. Johnson and Johnson, GE. So some decent names tomorrow. Maybe we could take a look at those closer to the end of the day and see if we can set up some earning plays. Kevin, good morning. We've got about 3 minutes. Time to get motivated and then do some meditation. We'll be ready to rock and roll. Let's go. All right. Now we're cooking with fire. Thirty seconds. Hey, fun. There we go. There's the open. Sectors are a little red. Look at the NASDAQ breath is up pretty positive at 5. Trading a little bit lower here, back towards the spike. Kind of trickling down here. You can see all of the sectors turn red. The breath is coming off. Market's pulling all the way back below the VWAP now. The bot got into a call. Volume coming in here below the spike, so you're kind of seeing what we possibly expected. We're going to get some rotations here inside the spike to see if they're going to accept it. They close that gap right away. You can see the tick really not too moved by it. Back above previous day's high now. Back below the little 12-point range here as the market tries to decide. You can see a lot of the volume coming in just right above the previous day's high, indicating possibly some responsive selling. You see tech starting to go green here. A lot of volume came in right there. That's what I'm saying. Like, this may be responsive selling. So if we get above it, there'll probably be some short covering. But until we get above it, that's probably where that seller is going to hold so far. As you see, most of the sectors, I mean, healthcare or tech is trying to go green. Consumer discretionary trying to go green. You can really see our breath right here, which is super fucking annoying. Apple's actually not doing bad. Google's doing okay. But Microsoft, Amazon, Nvidia, they're all kind of getting the smackdown. But here we go, right back at that volume area. So above this is where we start to get a little bit, short coverage.
AMD's bucking it. It's moving up.
Nice.
It's about 3.5% up right now. Apple's 1.2-ish% up.
Yeah, let's see if it will hold this volume up here. Because most of the sectors are, I mean, they're trying to switch, I guess, but you can see the weighted AD just kind of barely green right here. A lot of volume coming in as they're kind of exploring this previous day's range here. Starting to get a little bit of a taper here as well. What was the settle? 88.50. Little pop again right here where the volume's at. See if they get another little gas to the upside. It looks like you're seeing, basically buyers kind of just try this 92 half area, 93, and like they're just kind of getting stuck. You can see kind of a ledge starting to form right there, but you wonder, is this seller going to get tired, or are they just eventually just going to run this guy over? Back to the VWAP here. The Nasdaq's not really respecting the rest of the trend here, so we can kind of assume here that either one or two things is going to happen. Either Nasdaq's going to flip and start to go with the rest of the market, or the rest of the market's going to be like, you know what, Nasdaq's so strong. Right now, it looks like that's the case. Is that Nasdaq might be just too strong to get in the way.
Yeah, it looks like the Nasdaq's trying to pull us higher, but the YM and the ES don't want to come.
Yeah, but they are. They have no choice.
Yeah, they will eventually
Yeah.
if it keeps going higher.
The Nasdaq looks strong. Nasdaq just made a new high.
Yeah, it keeps breaking the high and then pulling back.
Yep.
Because the ES and the YM just won't go. They won't. They're just sitting there.
Right.
Like you said, though, should pull it high. Who knows, though? You never know.
Yeah, true.
If the Nasdaq dumps, the other two are probably going to get hammered.
Well, come on, Nasdaq, get your shit together.
Yeah, it's popping highs again.
There we go. Weighted AD is the key here, guys. Like, even though we have like all these red sectors, the weighted AD is just keeping us on the green side. And then the tick mainly just hanging out around zero is giving us no information. The market just basically sitting on its VWAP is also kind of giving us no information. So, from that, we don't really have anything that we can really do except for, just kind of, with what we got. And the only thing that we got right here is basically tech is really strong and holding the whole weighted AD up. And we can see the Nasdaq's really strong. So if it continues to go, it's going to be tough to fight, right? We know the Nasdaq's kind of a beast. And a lot of times what will happen in situations like this is we'll get the Nasdaq on a tear, right? So Nasdaq starts to tear to the upside. The market's going to rally. Well, eventually the Nasdaq's going to get tired and start to flatten out. The rest of the market's going to go back to what it was doing, which was going down, and then the Nasdaq will catch up. So there may be a play a little bit later on the Nasdaq if we see the continuation start to kind of dry up. Will, good morning. The last trade was a little bit of a scary one. Normally I just trade the MNQ and I trade 10 lots at a time. I don't mind paying the commission on the Nasdaq because the moves are big. But I accidentally was on the regular Nasdaq. So I had 10 Nasdaq lots on for a second.
That had to be a little bit frightening. I did that one when I normally trade the MES, and one time I was playing with it, left it in the MES and the sim, and then I switched to the other account and just bought. I didn't think about it, and all of a sudden I'm in an MES trade or in an ES trade. I was like, holy shit. $20, $25 a point. So, or a tick.
I was looking
something like that.
Oh yeah, I was looking at this thing and it's like, normally it's $20 a point when I have 10 MES slots on and I can just kind of trickle them off. It was like 200.
Well,
I'm like, what the fuck?
Like, holy shit.
And it was like 200, 400, negative 200, negative 400, flat. And I was just like, what the fuck is going on? I was like, and then I, looked at my actual like account and saw that it was NQ, and I'm like, whoopsies. Come on, do what you do.
There it goes. Got above open. Freaking AMD is on a tear. The bot's 25% up.
A lot of buying trying to come in up here.
Counts are still pretty even. Nothing major.
School got canceled where I'm at today. Fucking snowing like crazy. So a little bit of a retracement there. That's not really the best look, but I mean it's really just checking below the open, so it's not too bad, honestly. And you kind of see we moved back into yesterday's range, rejected those prices. So now as long as we keep seeing volume shift up, which we saw the volume as we assumed that it was some responsive sellers. It was. We just haven't got much range extension now to the upside now that we've got above those sellers, still sitting in a 12.5 point range. So,
And
the
the Nasdaq hit a little resistance area there. I'm not surprised it pulled back.
right.
Probably get through it, but it is at a little bit of a resistance zone. Sorry there.
No, you're good. You're good. Yeah. I just don't want you to try to convince the market that it can go down. It's important to note here too that the Nasdaq breadth is like 3.15 right now when it was 5. So if we want to start, or we want to get one of these days where we just keep pounding the upside, we'd like to see here a breadth in the Nasdaq really start to pick up. All right, we're 15 minutes in. You're getting that first, the first kind of burst was to the downside. They got a little bit tired. Now we're back above the open. So second half, let's see what the home team's got here. Nice. Nasdaq's on the way. Nice. I did it again. Fuck. What's going on with this thing? Oh, yes. There we go. So 415 was the level up that we were looking for this morning. You know, we kind of pounded through that 4,000. So let's see if we get straight there for their little back test. And we're coming up to that long-term trend here. Um, as well on the ES.
Bot is thinking about getting out. See at the top of the minute, it's 2 candles in and it needs 3 candles to exit. Let's see what it does.
And
Bot is out.
we're at 42 calls, 7 puts.
Yep, bot is out. It would, the counts never really got really high, but it was definitely showing signs toward the call side. But the bot is complete. In and out. Man, that was what, 20 minutes?
Nice.
I got 30 points or 30% up. That's a good day. It's a good day for the bot.
Yeah. Yeah. If you can get 30% in 20 minutes.
That's not every day, but it's the days that I really, appreciate how
Yeah.
it plays. It probably still has some more upside, but I'm not sure how much. Anyway.
On there.
We just came up to the beginning of the single prints.
That's 7. Yeah. Volume's still coming in here.
Of course, there's probably likely, this is going to be one of those days where the butt gets out and it's going to go up like crazy.
Those AMD calls or puts that I sold last week, they're up 93% now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
I'll send them to you.
Yeah, if the bot had held, so it was in 8 contracts, if the bot had held, it'd be another 8 times 50. So it'd be another $400.
Those are almost worthless. Those fucking puts. Damn, that was perfect timing. And that was all. That was because of the bot too. Like the bot was in a. The
Oh,
bot.
you mean the counts?
Yeah, because the bot was in a put that day, and we were at a very like strong support for AMD, and so and then you said the bot got out, and I was like, oh, I bet it probably rallies from here. So I'm just gonna sell some puts. That way, if it goes down, then I'll lose. I basically like had defined risk.
Yeah.
So if it went down, I would have lost like $300, but I mean, it rallied pretty big.
That's cool. That's really cool. Yeah, the bot did not catch the perfect upside today, but yeah, and it actually got out right exactly when, like it was just that one time. the counts were still pretty heavy to the upside. This is one of those things that I may modify it so that if I see it still having more room to the upside, I may have it hold out. I tried to do a little bit of coding to make it work to where it would actually hold on, but it didn't. It's really hard because then it stays in, but the point where it got out ended up not necessarily making as much as it did when I had it the original way.
Hmm.
So I was like, I can't just like switch it and have it make and be perfect. So I was like, yeah, I'll just roll with it. So I'll leave it as is for now, but there may be a point where I make it. I just have to figure out how to read that data and have it look at it a little bit more closely. It's a hard play when I mean, today is definitely significantly to one side, but like whatever day I was looking at and in my back testing, it just doesn't always know. And that's the problem is that I need to make it consistent. Coding
That'll
a
just come with
behavior.
time.
Yeah, coding a behavior is hard because it's got to know what it's looking at. Like today, I mean, I clearly looked at it and said, okay, this thing very likely has more upside. But
You text my
whatever.
teacher and see what I could do.
Free money, right?
Yeah, you can't complain about that. Right? Yeah, thanks for coming. I'll let you know what she said. All right, we're coming right up to trend right now. This high is like that long-term trend. So let's see if we can just fill this in. Big volumes coming in. A lot of the sectors have flipped to green now. Buyers are struggling a little bit up here on this 12. What?
A snack in my room.
Sure. A lot of volume coming in, some sellers coming in, 975. So offer trying to move down from 12 to this 975 10 level here. There's some sellers trying to come in, more sellers on the 850. This is kind of where sellers got stuck earlier on that kind of way up. You got that weak spot at 650. And notice, so here's a way to maybe be able to tell some tempo change is notice this move up, big bar, big bar, big bar, bigger bar, and then we kind of flattened out. Well, if we got a big sell bar all the way down, that's going to be kind of your clue. Okay, there's been a change in tempo here. So if we just kind of, we came up on this one big bar and then two more, if we just come down on 3 bars, that's going to kind of let us know like tempo might be changing here. And you can see sellers step down even more down at the 6 now. Big seller here at the 675. So it took a big seller to move that volume. There was a big bid in the way, but they came in and they traded it, I guess. So kind of see what happens. Seller's trying to move in again here to 7. Big buyers jump in, fill it up. Nice short covering going on here. Just give us the 15, buddy, and we'll be happy. Big, so notice the big bar coming in now. So we were talking about if we got big sell bars and we noticed the change in tempo, but we didn't get them, and then we got, boom, a big buy bar. So now we're still seeing buyers really, kind of firming up here. So we move up, make a higher low, and buyers say, we like this. Now someone's just trying to hold the price down lower so they can get out of a position. It looks like someone's on their heels right now. A seller is kind of trapped and on their heels because buyers really aren't even giving it their all yet. As you can see, we haven't even had a 1,000 tick yet. All puts 32.6. Volume was about 5% less than yesterday. More volume coming in up here. Some big aggressive buying up at the 13. $14.50. 13 to 14.50. Somebody swept the book from 13 to 14.50 right there. Is it really going to leave us 2 ticks shy of 15? Come on. Give us what we want. What's he doing? Where's he at? Come here. Come here with your computer. I have your instructions for school. Did you hear me? All right, I'll see you down here. Okay, bye.
I think the VPOC just shifted up.
Yeah, it did. Now we want to see if we can get above it. You have your computer?
Yeah, but I tried to do it on it before.
Okay, we'll just try it on this. Sorry guys, I'm trying to set my school up there on distance learning today. All right.
Good morning.
Morning. Sorry about that. Let's get back.
What's going on, Brad?
What's up, dude?
Chilling.
You guys getting some snow?
Oh my God, did we ever? They
Yeah.
called again for school. So that was Friday, no school, and now Monday, no school.
Yeah, same with my kids. No school today.
The only day it snowed too, on Friday and on Sunday night, Monday. Yeah, we got at least 4 inches out there.
We got maybe like an inch. I don't know, maybe 2 inches. Like, because they had already decided on the late date for us today, and then I think they were just like, you know what, fuck it.
Yeah, I stepped outside last night to have a cigarette, and I was looking at my car. I'm like, man, is that like ice on the back window? Because it was kind of dark. And then came upstairs, and school's calling. My phone canceling school.
Yep.
How was your weekend?
Yeah, it's all right. Cowboys lost, so that's kind of shitty, but what can you do?
So they're out now, is that right?
Yeah. It was a really good game. I mean, it was a tough game. Niners are good. I fucking hate the Niners so much too.
One of my friends from high school, she loves the Niners
Ugh, gross.
for years now. And she was like, at halftime, she was like, I hope we can hold it. Because it was like 9-6 at halftime.
Yeah.
What did it wind up being, the final score?
12-19. Move there. Fuck. Man, that was the nice. That was a nice pullback. If you took it off the 8, right off the point of control, that thing just rocketed. Seeing all this buying just kind of flush in up here at the 14. But it's all small size for the most part. All the big size coming through is selling, it looks like. That's what I was saying. Like, I think someone was just trying to hold it down to just get out of a position. You know, like they know they're fucked, and now like they're on their heels, and they're just like, and we can see like the tick, you know, really kind of staying above 0. And I know this tick is a little bit different than the toss tick, but it's a lot more reactive and a lot easier to see move, and so that's why I like to use it. And remember, we don't trade exacts here, but what we're talking about is, you know, someone's on their heels here, and then if we get 1,000 tick, which we haven't seen yet because buyers really haven't, you know, gave them the full saucerooski, basically, like they haven't used their full amount of, you know, juice that they have. This thing could really start to get going, especially now that these trapped, you know, people are kind of out of the way. There's a seller sitting there. But we did hit our target for the day. We did hit our goal for the day. So, you know, take it easy for the rest of the day and let this runner keep running and see what we can get. Nasdaq just kind of bailed off its high pretty quick right there. Eight contracts on that top tick. I'm gonna move my stop to 15. That way, if I get out right here at 15, you know, my target was 15.50 on the day, so yeah, I'm out right there. That's fine. So 25.25 points for the day. Not bad. So basically, I mean, I really just had two trades today. The first trade fills were 91 quarter, 91.50, 93.50, 93.50. Those got taken out 96. So small little trade there. 5 points, 3 points. And then I got filled 9.50, 6.50, 7.75, 9 quarter. And then took them out 12.50, 10.75, 9, 15, 50. Start to see that NASDAQ breadth start to pick up a little bit as well here. But the NASDAQ honestly is looking a little bit weaker here. And this is something that we talked about, guys. So now that we've kind of hit the spot that we were expecting, we need to zoom out here. So let's do that as a I'll bring this chart over because I'm going to do it over here anyway, so might as well just do it together. So we zoom out, we kind of see the daily here. We're hitting that resistance. Okay, so that makes sense. Let's look at the NASDAQ as well. And we can see the NASDAQ's hitting that long-term resistance as well. All right, NASDAQ looks a lot kind of worse, but this low doesn't like. I don't know. I like I said, I don't think this low is going to hold. So I think the NASDAQ's going to come down, and then the ES is going to come down longer term. But the ES is only going to come down maybe 10%, whereas the NASDAQ I think has 20%. Based off of evaluations, like if it doesn't go down, obviously we're not going to trade it down, but so you see that the NASDAQ's pulling into a little bit of resistance here. If we jump back to the daily and we look more zoomed out on this 30-minute, then you can see this sector box here. This is what I made from that website, if you guys weren't on early. So ignore the percentages, but basically I just was able to replace with like the top weighted stocks in the S&P 500. We can kind of see like most of them are green except Amazon, and this is from the open instead of how it goes from here, which is from the previous day's close. But anyway, so here on the 30-minute, we can kind of see 40.18 to 40.35. We've seen supply in these areas before, so we can kind of see that we're running into supply. So I wouldn't be surprised if the NASDAQ really starts to look weak, if we get a pullback to this 41.14 and you see, support again. A little resistance there, maybe see some support there. There's kind of a second opportunity for a pullback. If unless you're still running the long, then obviously you're still good. But if you're not in the long and you're looking to get long, that's kind of where I think is probably the safer bet, safer play. Unless you're gonna scalp the high. NASDAQ breadth's still picking up though. NASDAQ's still looking strong. Let's see if it can break its high. Volume starting to pick up here. Your computer's ready, Curtis. So just press log in whenever you're ready and then go. Not right here though. Where are you going to do your class? Do it upstairs at the kitchen too.
Can I do on
Upstairs? Yeah. Do you have a charger? Yeah. Find your charger. And go get it. So from I mean like the volume at that specific area. I put out a new I put out a new chart book this weekend and I made this chart. I'll drag it over. Let me detach it real quick. To kind of help with that. To help to make it a little bit more visual. I can see it in the profile because like in the profile I know volume is picking up because this is turning white, right? That's how I know volume is picking up. And we could just tell because it was getting like kind of darker blue and it was getting wider. But like if we're only 10K here, 8K here, and this thing's at 6K, so volume's picking up a little bit. And then I also have, you know, like the time in sales up, and that kind of shows me volume because I can see how fast it's going. You know what I mean? But that's, I mean, yeah, that's pretty much it. We should be getting what the London closes soon, right? Still didn't get that 1,000 tick. Um, but here, so I made this over the weekend. Well, not, well, I've been working on it for a little while, just to make life easier. Okay, so it's a different way to look at the auction. The market's just going up right now. But it's just a way to kind of simplify it for you. So I call it the 10-minute auction. And you guys know because the algo that I made is based off of a 10-minute chart because that's what gives me the most consistent signals as far as how my algo works. So that's what I use. And that's what I like to look at the auction in because it breaks it down in like 3 sets of, you know, 3 auctions, 3 bars is like the 1 TPO, right? So that's just kind of how I like it, right? And so basically what you can see, and we'll just kind of start from the bottom up, this here is just volume per bar. And so what it will do is it will start to give us, when we're start to seeing an increase from the previous bar, like a strong increase, it'll give us 3 colors, either gray, pink, or red. Gray being a little increase, pink being medium increase, red being strong increase. Okay. And the bottom one is just volume per second, right? So just how fast the volume's coming in. Like I said, I also have these 2 rows on a different screen telling me, like, it lets me know like how fast they're going. This is for big orders above 25 and above, and then this one is for 5 and above. So this one goes a little bit faster if there's a lot of volume coming in, whereas this takes a little bit of time to move because we got to see some bigger orders. They have to be above 25. So and it's not like you have to read every number on there. You're just kind of paying attention to the tempo. That's kind of like sometimes where I feel the tempo at. I might try to go with this one. Oh well. Okay, so and now getting onto these bars. So basically you can see the auction here, right? So similar to what the DOM looks like. If you see these blue letters, that is telling you that there's an imbalance on the buy side. If you see a pink or number, excuse me, if you see a pink number, that's an imbalance on the sell side. This profile here on the side is delta. So pink being negative delta, green or blue being positive delta, and it just gives you an idea. The reason I made this is because it visualizes it for you. Patrick, good morning. So it makes it a little bit easier for those of you guys that are having a tough time seeing the auction. And like I said, it's not something that I can just show you this chart and be like, hey, every time we see this buy imbalance at the bottom, you want to just buy that, right? Because it's just not that simple, or else everybody would do it that way.
I tried.
Didn't work? Hang on a second, guys. Here, Curtis, type this in. Okay, so but yeah, so for those of you guys that are having a difficult time learning the auction, basically what I tried to do here is just make it easy. And so if we just kind of go back a little bit to where the open's at, and so you can see these colors come in on the numbers when we get good volume coming in. So what happened, this is 9:30, right? So part of A period, we come down, we get selling imbalances, get a move lower, but a ton of volume, right? B period opens up, comes back down into volume, doesn't get any more volume, so this price must have been accepted. You see all this positive delta, a bunch of negative delta up here. This is that 92 level that we talked about early on, which is where we first started getting long. I started getting long 91.50 to 93.50. You can see the fills there. And then it kind of just runs up, right? I didn't take the run up. I just wasn't confident in it. But we can kind of see how, you know, you get this volume kind of moving up, right? And so, and then also on this chart, if you, I don't know if you can see, if I zoom in, see this green line here and then this red line here. This is the value area high. It's marked over here. And then you have the point of control. And so what this does is it lets you visualize the point of control shifting up. So, and TJ actually said while we were trading, the point of control just moved up. And after the 10-minute bar closed, boom, you see the point of control moving up, point of control moving up. Well, now we've had 3 bars where the point of control is just basically staying the same. So we've only seen a little bit of volume come up in, even though we're still kind of getting this extension to the upside. And so there's this part of the profile. And then on the right side, you see volume, which is in this hologram look. And then you have delta of the current session inside, or delta of the RTH session inside here. And then you have delta here. And so what this can kind of do is just kind of give you a little bit of visualization to where buyers and sellers are being aggressive, right? It's none of it is like a, if you see this then you can do this. None of it's like that. It's really not. And as much as it would be, and as much as I see people say that it is, it's just not. Because if it was, then everyone would just do that and they would make money in that, and it just doesn't work like that. So but what it can help you do is, while you're watching the auction, if we're watching this auction and we're seeing like, okay, volume's coming in right here, what should we do the next time this level gets tested? Well, we see come in here, buyers step in, the market kind of runs up. You know, it lets you kind of break down that auction a little bit, and it kind of keys you in instead of having to really kind of dig down. Because if these colors weren't there, you'd still see that that's a lot of volume, but I don't know if your eyes would really draw to that area as quickly. And so basically what I'm trying to do with this chart is just help you kind of track the auction a little bit easier. And so hopefully it helps. Now we've got more sellers trapped, it looks like, with single prints underneath. 40 on the high. Did it work?
I tried it 2 times.
Okay. I doubt this high holds right here. I mean, it might go one tick above it, but I just doubt that it holds. The thing could break, could get a liquidation break back down to 18, though. There's a weak spot at 18. Buyers are trying to hold here. Some sellers are kind of testing the waters at this 22, being a little bit aggressive down here, seeing if they can convince some of their friends. But if no sellers show up at this 22, they're going to be getting stuck right here, which is kind of what it looks like is happening. And you may be seeing a little bit of a pop from here off the backs of their stop orders. And then that high should go. There's that tick. Trying to see if we can get above that 600 level here. Are you on Sierra charts or no? You are? Okay, because there's another chart in there that looks like this. It's a 10 range chart, and this is the chart that I like to make levels on. But I gave it a study, and the study is just color bar based on alert condition, and then you just go to alerts, and I put volume over 10,000. There's a bunch of other ones you can do. But that turns the bar pink because I just have the bars on gray. But that turns the bar pink, and so we see kind of like this big volume bar. I mean, they're not perfect, right? But you kind of see them at these kind of bigger interaction zones. So here, when I'm seeing this kind of bigger volume come in at the top. That lets me know, like, if this high doesn't get taken out, then there's probably decent odds that this is gonna hold, or that there's at least some decent supply up here. You know what I mean? And if it gets taken out, then that lets me know that there's initiative buyers willing to kind of step up at the highs and take the market higher. But so far, we just kind of haven't seen that. And that's why I was saying, like, it's kind of, I don't know. This high is kind of scary. But it should, I mean, I think they should get at least one more tick above, because that high just doesn't look like the auction was complete. And now we're starting to see some more volume come in up here at the highs. Yeah, I created a new template. I posted in the Discord. But I mean, it's pretty simple. Besides that, because like I'm only watching the TPO mostly, and then when we get to an area that I like, I start watching the DOM. Sometimes I'll watch the DOM while we're just sitting here doing nothing, because it's like, you know, I'm just so fucking bored. You know, it's like commentary. It's like a NASCAR announcer. Yeah, here they go, going around the circle again. Boom. You know, I mean, some people love NASCAR. I don't want to knock it, but you know, to me, it's like, when my dad loves NASCAR. That's just so fucking boring. You know, I like to see a crash now or then. But yeah, check it out. Let me know if you like it. Hey, Beardy, thanks, man. Appreciate you. Thanks for tuning in. So we're getting some decent volume up here again. You can see, especially, you know, TPO's turning white. But some of the other charts that I look at, like, I showed the time in sales, the charts that are in the, like, the actual Sierra chart box, I don't use any of them. Those are just in there so I can have my overlays of like my half back, the high, the T+1, the low, the 200, right? This weekend kind of just automated it all, so I don't have to draw lines every day. Just draw one line, settle. That's it. Okay. And so, you know, it's all there for you. You might have to adjust the time zone if you're not in the same time zone as me, right? I'm on Eastern time zone, so you might have to adjust a little bit, but other than that, it really shouldn't change much. And then I have I have this chart, right? Like the big chart that has like the daily chart. Well, we had it on a 30-minute, but typically this is on a daily chart because I'm not really looking at it. We've got our flex grid. All of these kind of multi-time frame trackers for the ES and the NASDAQ. And then just, you know, all these are on 10-minute charts based off my algo. And they're just having the 50, the 100, and the 200 and the VWAP, and then the daily levels. And this is healthcare, you've got Apple, technology, financials, communications. This is the S&P stocks above the 200 moving average. This S&P stocks above their 50 daily moving average. And this is energy up here. And then I have like the tick right here in the bottom. And then, oh, and this thing has bookmap on it too. So you can look at bookmap too if you want to. And I will glance at bookmap now and then just to get these levels. If I don't feel like zooming out on my DOM, or if my DOM's not, showing these bigger levels that are kind of like off screen. That way I can just like go like this and be like, okay, there's a big level at 35 and a big level down at 20, and just write those down. Right? But I can't just stare at this all the time. It makes me want to just trade constantly. Like being at McDonald's, you're like, fuck, I'm just gonna get some fries. And you're like, they're like, yo, our ice cream machine's working. And you're like, well, I guess I'll have a milkshake too. And then I have another screen that has like all the chat bullshit on it. And then the last one has this, and it's on a vertical, oops. It's on a vertical screen, so it's gonna look weird on this screen when I make it big, but it's on a vertical screen, so it's kind of zoomed out, but it just has the ES, the NASDAQ, the Dow, the Russell, bonds, the VIX, the 10-year, and the dollar. And these are just kind of like inverse correlations, right? So like here's the market, and they're all on 10-minute charts, because that's what I like to look at, right? And then they've got the 50, the 100, and the 200, and then the daily levels, and that's it. You could put in, there's a study called TTM trend, which I kind of like it. If you change the colors to a little bit less crazy, it's not bad, and it looks like this. So it just paints them like if they're going down, they're going up. That way, if you just do a quick glance and you see like green, so if you had like green, right? But because I have the levels on there, I don't really like it. Kind of just makes it too much. And the VIX levels don't really matter either, but for these guys, I like to see where they're at. And that's it. Got 4 screens. Yes, 4 screens. Yeah, that's definitely true, TJ. Yeah, and it could be like, the screen that helps me might not necessarily be the screen that's going to help you as well. And that's why that with that 10-minute auction chart, I really tried to kind of break everything down and make it so like it's a little bit easier to kind of pay attention. And so like what you can do is when you start to see the actual volume come in, the auction, which isn't in this 10-minute auction, is in the previous 10-minute auction, you go over to your DOM and just click reset, and then really just kind of watch that auction, and you can really kind of develop a relationship with like who's kind of in control based off of like how that auction's going. $141 lots, 23 half. A lot of volume coming in up here. We're going to see a VPOC shift here pretty soon. the Nasdaq breadth. So they're kind of catching up with each other here. Is what's happening. The Nasdaq's taking a little bit of a break, and the Dow and the ES have caught up now. So now everything's back to correlation. So now if we start to see the Nasdaq go, then everything should follow suit. I posted it underneath of Sierra charts. I think. Yeah.
Is that for Thinkorswim or is it a Sierra Charts template?
It's a Sierra charts template.
Oh, okay.
You're talking about like for that footprint and stuff for the auction?
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, no problem. Okay. Charts. Sellers look like they got stuck again at 26 quarter here. They tried it hard. But we keep seeing early sellers get trapped here. So the market's having a pretty easy time moving up off of trapped sellers that were trying to short the ES and short the Dow because the Nasdaq was strong, and now they're kind of paying the price. Buyers are trying to be aggressive up here at the 29. Looks like they're running into a little bit of resistance. But everything looks strong. Amazon's the only kind of lagger today, really.
What are you thinking when we get up here?
Here's that.
Their top barrier. Previous highs.
I think we're gonna. I mean, at this point, it looks like we're probably gonna run some stops. Um,
That's kind of the swing high at this point. So
Yeah.
probably zone.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We've got to like jump over to the daily to really. What the fuck? jump over to the daily to really kind of see where we're at, and then you take a look at it, and it's kind of like, well, there's nothing really above us here until like 89. So it's kind of like a free for all up here. I feel like if sellers cannot hold this level and the buying continues, there's really like another 40 points up that people are going to be paying the price. And you can kind of see like, I feel like that's where I feel like ultimately the target's at 41.55. That's where we've kind of seen resistance. Like, yeah, we're not in a downtrend, but if we're in like a larger, if you assume longer time frame traders are selling here, buying, selling, maybe we got some buying, so now the trend is here, it's not here anymore. So now the main trend to watch is going to be this longer trend from the low. If that gets broken, then then I don't know, but there's really nothing. I feel like there's nothing here, because this was just that big reversal day. So I can't imagine there's many orders up there. You can kind of look. But Apple looks really strong today too. Still early, looking like a trend day. Yeah, it most certainly is. Yeah, if we look back at this day, I mean, if you guys remember, this was the day where the market just opened and just kind of started puking lower the whole day, trapped a bunch of people, and then puked even more. And then the next day we just got that continuation. But there really wasn't much trading up here. I mean, you can see 9,000 contracts, 10,000 contracts. Like, there's not really a lot of trading. So probably, 4,100, of course. That's where those prints start. I don't even know if I have any more levels marked up above this high of the 17, because I really wasn't expecting us to go much above 15 today.
Yeah, Lincoln and I only had 24, and at that point I was like, I don't think we need to add any more to the top. So yeah, kind of nice when it does that though sometimes.
Yeah, it is. Nasdaq's turning down here a little bit. We're also getting a big increase in volume up here as well. No Party City's back down at 9 cents.
What were they up to?
Not sure. I think it was like 25 cents or something. Thought I just closed these. Heavy selling coming in right there. Back takes us back down right to the same spot. D period's opening up. Back above the 29. Let's see all that volume, VPOC and everything. Let's see what we get here. Hey, thanks everybody for checking out that YouTube short. Nasdaq's at the high, trying to break out right now. Aggressive buying at the 31.50. See if we can take this high now. Okay, I like it, I like it. Run it. And the next VPOC, cash VPOC that's above is like 40.70. Nice. There's your first 1,000 tick right there. Oh yeah. 40.80 would be like the next target up, I think. Long ways up, but I mean, we're in the middle of this distribution here. What the fuck?
Jeez,
Yo,
bro.
Brad,
Huh?
I just got a call from DCF, yo.
DCF?
Department of Children and Families.
Oh shit. What'd they say?
Oh, there's been a mandated reporter filed that I was abusive to her children when we lived there. This is such shit, dude. I treated them like they were my kids, yo.
Yeah.
She's trying to get any little thing on the way out, right? So now they have to come to my house and talk to my daughter. How fucking crazy is that, yo?
Yeah, that's insane.
It's insane.
Sorry, bro. That sucks. I have to go through that shit.
It's gonna suck, but you know, there's nothing I can do now.
Yeah, true.
The truth shall set me free, son. That's all it is.
All right, so now we've got some levels above. Big volume coming in now. I moved my stop to 4250. If we get below that 4250, we'll probably retrace a bit. Um, I think so.
Hey, bro, I set you up for another YouTube short. Ask you that question: what would happen when we get to the swing high? Like, oh, we gotta take it at this point.
Oh, I'll have to go back. Yeah, thank you. Perfect.
Like a 10-point trade.
It's actually a 15-point quarter trade. 16 point trade. Because I got long from 29, 50, and 30. Originally, when we first got up here, I got long. I think it was 29 even, and then I took one off at 32, and then took the other one off 29.75, and then we just kind of sat here for a second. So then I just put it back on, but I didn't get it as good of a fill. I got 29, 50, and 30 instead of 229s. But I took the first one off at 32 again because I was like, let's see if we just reject off the same spot. And then I moved my stop to break even, and now it's just a runner from hell. Now I've got my stop at 42.50, and we'll just let it keep rolling, I guess. Go to fucking 80.
Bro, I finally just took my first trade of the day. I was trying to be patient and not get caught in a bad spot. I missed my first entry, so I was just trying to be patient and not like, revenge trade.
Yeah.
So it was so high, you feel like you've already missed out, so I was trying to make sure I got in a good spot.
And especially because, like, as a trader, like, I feel like buying a high or buying as the market's going up is harder when you have more experience because you've been through the buying the high moments. You know what I mean?
And then the failure.
And then the failure. So, like, as a newer trader, you're like, fuck, it's going up. I'll buy this shit. And if it goes down a little bit, your mindset's still like, meh, I'll just hold it forever. Eventually it will go back up, right? But like us, because we do this every day, we get on, market's going higher. We're like, fuck, I don't want to get in right here. Because as soon as I get in, if that thing ticks one tick down, I'm like, fuck, I bought the high.
So
Yep,
TJ,
yep.
just on that, after D popped up, I don't remember, it was right near the 42-ish range, 40, 42, somewhere in there. And I was like, I think it's going to come back. And I actually put in an order at 38 quarter, thinking that it would do a back trace. And I did it right just at the half back because I was thinking, well, I guess that wasn't a half back at the time, but it was just right in that area, just like right near the high. And it came back to 38 half and didn't pick me up, and then literally went straight back up. So I totally get it. But I think that's, from my perspective, I think that's where I try to do it, where if I'm going to enter, I don't ever chase. And this is because I've made this mistake so many effing times where I'm like, oh, it's jumping. And I chase the trade. And so my entry is supposed to, let's say, be 38, and I jump it, and I'm like getting in at 42.50 or something like that, just because I'm trying to chase it to catch that jump up. And then of course it goes and doesn't necessarily do what I want to do, or doesn't give me enough points or whatever. So what I'm realizing is that you put in your entry. If it comes and it hits you and it back ticks you because of your stop, then something's, you just didn't do it right or whatever. But if it does pick you up, then that's where, I guess just don't chase it. That's the thing. Because you're like you were saying, you're like, I don't know where to get in. And that's the thing that I try to really hard to do, is when it's doing that, is only put your entry based on what you're seeing it doing. And I think Brad said it earlier, but he said, I feel like this is going to backtrace a little, and that's why I put it at 38 quarter. But if it doesn't pick me, I mean, it didn't pick me up, so I actually just closed them all out. And I guess I just, I'm gonna be like you, I'm gonna wait for my next entry. Cause this is hard. You gotta know where you can't just jump in and pray for the best.
No, you can't just buy it because you think it's going to keep going up. Or like Brad was saying, every time it starts going down, you're going to flatten, get scared because you're going to think you bought the high, and then all of a sudden you're down 5 or 6 points trying to, you know, just trying to get in on.
Exactly.
So I was looking for a responsive long. I wanted to get in when we first opened, broke the overnight high, but I didn't. And then had one more spot where I almost got in. But I hadn't put any orders in. Almost got in around the 12.
If that 38 quarter had picked me up, because my take profit is 5 points, so it would have done it. Might give me my 5 points, and that would have been that. But
Well, I
say
have the
that
rule.
be
I don't buy any break routes if it's on a bearish divergence, and every high today has been a bearish divergence.
oh really?
So that's why I was looking. I knew to look for responsive longs,
That would
and but today, a while ago, I was looking for it to break that swing high we were talking about. And when D broke over C and we hit 34, it was the first time the RSI made a higher high. It wasn't a bearish divergence. So I bought there, held for a few seconds while the short covering came in, and then I think it was like 50-second trade, made 5 points across.
no way. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that the bearish divergences might be why the counts are so low. The counts, I mean, it was up like 90 something earlier, but that was very brief. Right now, 30 and 0. So it's still showing tendency trending to the upside, but I don't know. That's still not, that's a pretty weak hand.
It feels good though to like have the patience to sit here for 2 hours.
Exactly.
And then you're in for 50 seconds, and I made 15 points across 3 accounts. It's like
Yeah.
nailed it.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's dope. And that's really what it's all about too, is just waiting patient, you know? It's like I mean, I'm not a hunter, so I can't really, give you some serious hunting advice, but like, I know people that do hunt, and they say they sit in a fucking deer stand all damn day, and they even see deers and don't shoot at them because it's not a good shot. And then they finally get their shot, and then they, get some deer. So it's very similar to like that kind of patience that it takes.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Because for me, if I'm up in a tree stand, especially if it's cold and I've been up there for a while, I don't give a fuck if it's a good shot or not. The first deer that I'm seeing, I'm shooting at it.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah, my father-in-law, they caught some pictures of this huge buck that's been on the property, and so they've been going out like every morning, and bro, it's freezing out there, man. And they just sit for 4 or 5 hours, and they'll see deer, but if it's not that one, the big buck they're looking for, they're not shooting. And it's like, bro, you have so much patience for that. You gotta want it so bad to go through that much pain.
And are they just up like in a tree stand?
Yeah, they have a tree stand. Yeah.
Is it a nice one, or is it just like a fucking? Because there's some that are like heated and shit. Some are fancy, but most of them are just like a chair up in a tree.
Yeah. Just like staple or nailed to the side of the tree.
Yeah, it's like a beach chair just stapled to a tree up high, basically. I saw a video of a guy up in a tree stand. He was bow hunting, and an owl landed on his bow. And he was like, "What the fuck?" Or no, it was a turkey. A turkey. He was turkey hunting, and a turkey landed on his bow.
He's like, "You aim that at me one more time."
He's like, "This is why it's so easy to kill you guys, because you guys are dumb." Turkeys are stupid. They're the dumbest animals. I'm pretty sure. I mean, technically, humans are animals, and I've met some pretty dumb humans as well.
I was actually just going to say that I've seen some YouTube channels that I question the intelligence of the guys running them.
But this is, I mean, this is a pretty big move here later in the day, and we're still seeing big increase of volume up here. So there's really nothing telling you that you want to fight this, you know, unless you're stupid. Speaking of stupid, where's Jared at? He better not be sleeping that little motherfucker. It's already 11. Damn. 80 might be the fucking ticket here today. The next move up is 76.50. Like the next level to have up, really.
Thing I struggle with on days like today is there's no like obvious entry to get in and join. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, retrace, but it's like it didn't come back to any solid reference points for me. It just kind of came back and was like, I think we'll go from here.
So those are the days, like, especially if we look at like the 1 minute here, those are the days where when the market does start to kind of flatten, that you've got to kind of take your shot and then just kind of stop it below. Like it flattened here a little bit, and this one would have been one probably where you would have got stopped. Like, so you would have got in here, got stopped, and then it would have went without you, flattened, got in here, and this one would have made up for this loss here. You could have had one there as well that would have worked. But like, yeah, like this pullback here and then straight up, there's no consolidation here, so it's tough. It's tough to get in anywhere. I mean, besides like if you didn't get filled in around down here, yeah, I agree, it's really tough to get in up there. Especially because like, I mean, the market's just fucking, it's just up so much. I mean, we're up just today, or just in the past 2 days, really. 39.12 to, I mean, we're up over 100 points, 130 points. So it's, yeah, it's, especially because like you're like, well, how high can it really go? And I think that's what they've been getting. That's what we talked about earlier. I think that's what they've been getting people on, and how it's been so easy to move up because they're just moving up on stops. It's not like we have some high volume today. At least I don't think so. Let me look real quick. Yeah, it's still, oh, we had an increase right here in C period, so we're 2% more than Friday. A little bit of an increase, but just now hitting an increase. Mechanical D high. But like, I mean, those are the times kind of like, so like here we're starting to flatten out, right?
Yeah.
Starting to consolidate a little bit. And then we have, make the line a little bit smaller. We have, you know, kind of a high here and a low here, and a lowish high here. So we can kind of draw this box here. And so as it comes into this box, if it comes into this box, you know, we'd like it to stay relatively towards the high of this box because we know this is kind of like a pullback zone. So if we stay in the upper part of this pullback zone, decent odds that we can get filled. We don't have to sit through a lot of heat, right? Because that's kind of, what's this, 45 to 40, that's 5 points. ATR is 2.5 on a 1 minute, but you know, on a 30-minute, well, let's say 64 divided by 4, at like 12-ish,
16.
16. Yeah, so you're probably looking at like a 16-point-ish range. So 5-point stop might be needed, right? You might need to have that stop below the swing low, but you just got to be ready to get filled here, and then you could probably even, you know, fill on like that, get filled here. Just make sure you're out of the way. You know what I mean? And then it's also going to depend, you know, when it gets down into this zone, if you like how the auction is going. If the auction's just telling you, you know, ugh, then obviously you're not going to get in the trade. Or if you want to wait till the lower part of the zone and see if it's going to come down a little bit lower to be more patient, then that's, you know, that's a strategy as well. And so if we were to draw that zone here, oops. Oh, can't see shit on this fucking chart. So you're hitting the zone now.
Period halfbacks at the 40. It's mechanical.
Oh, halfback of D.
Yeah.
So notice this small volume right here, how it just kind of looked below it and kind of just jumped above it. So pay attention to see, is the volume going to come down right here and offer, or are we going to get back above that and you'll see a little bit of short covering. For right now, it looks like sellers are trying to move in down here. So we don't really like the zone yet. This little pullback zone doesn't really seem like it's going to hold yet. Four contracts trade on that low tick right there. Sellers trying to come in on the 42 quarter. So this might be an opportunity here to manage some risk really tight. The 41 is a stop. Sellers are coming in at this 42. They're trying to break the low here. Yeah, it looks like they might have it. Nasdaq came off the high hard and fast too. See if the Nasdaq catch a little bit of a bid here. Buyers on the 40.75 there. Yeah, they may be getting stuck here. Buyers look like they get stuck on the 41. The key part about something like today is because we're up so high, we've got to assume that there's a decent amount of short-term traders in here, especially because we assume we've been kind of squeezing them up all day. And so that's going to increase the odds of a liquidation break, because with those short-term traders, you know, shorting the market and kind of getting swept up, you're also going to have long-term traders buying the highs, right? And when they buy the high, that's how these people that bought the lows get out of the market. So you kind of see how the squeeze goes back and forth. Well, whenever that longer term trader who's been kind of just buying the market today decides, you know what, I'm going to be out of the market, you can get a liquidation. And I don't think we've got it yet, but we're kind of coming back to that 50 moving average, which we've used as kind of a middle knot in the tug of war, right? Especially as the day goes on, especially on a trend day like today. So if we start to hang out below this 50, a lot of times what we've seen is that the market will start to retrace, especially if the VWAP starts to flatten out. A lot of times the market will try to revisit that. Not that I think that's going to be the case today. I think this is more or less just kind of profit taking, but just because of how it came down, like it came down very, you know, kind of nice. Not really a lot of volatility or a lot of scared money in there, it didn't look like.
Scared usually means jittery movements, where it like jumps and then it slows down and then jumps and slows down, right?
Right, yeah, because they're just trying to be in and out. They're just, as soon as they get a green check mark, they're like, oh, no.
As opposed to an even distributed movement. Yeah, got it.
Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah.
Nice. What is up?
I was just talking about you earlier. I said, speaking of stupid, where's Jared at? Well, and I was like, that motherfucker's probably still sleeping.
No.
Market's been passing out free money all morning.
Dude, looks like it. I definitely missed this shit. I'm trying to go back
Were you
and
getting a pedicure?
what's that?
Were you getting a pedicure? What was going on? What
I
what you got?
wish.
Like what's keeping you from getting free money? I'm just trying to figure it out.
Dude, no why? No, I was setting up that chart book, Brad, you set up,
Oh, yeah.
and I was messing with that this morning, and I wanted to like figure out a way. I was trying to like open up yours and then open up my chart book and then set them both up and then pick and choose which ones I want and then save it as that. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, you can do that.
I was trying to, but I couldn't figure it out. I keep
It's because you're
like,
dumb.
I know.
So you just go to like click on the chart that you want, ascend, and then you'll click chart, and then it'll say, if you have two chart books open, it'll say send to chart book or duplicate chart to chart book, and then you just change it to the right chart book that you want it to go to, and then it'll do that.
Under chart?
Yeah. Chart,
Um,
duplicate
You can just
chart to
right
chart
click on
book.
those tabs on the bottom left too.
hold hold on. Let me go to this one.
Like on the bottom left of your screen, it's got those little tabs in the
So
bottom.
I'll open up the one you had. And let's say I want to transfer it to mine. Where can I click on it to transfer it? Or
Chart.
do chart?
Do you have your chart book open as well?
I just did. Whenever I open up this one, yours, it gets rid of mine.
Okay, but it's still open though. It's just
Yeah.
in a different tab. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so you can do it. Just click chart and duplicate chart. The chart book.
Where's duplicate chart? Duplicate chart to chart book. And then I have to type in the fucking name under value or what?
No, just click the drop down.
Well, whenever I click chart and then duplicate chart to chart book, it's not showing up on my other one.
We have to change when you click duplicate chart to chart book, you have to change that one, the pop-up that pops up to the right chart book to send it to. You're probably duplicating it to the same chart book. Idiot. Read, Jared.
Does it say create new chart book under it, Jared? That's what, just toggle that to yes and make a new one. You can do it that way too. Just send everything you want to a new one.
Just use the one that I sent you. It has everything you want. Even has a 1 minute chart on there.
I don't use a 1 minute chart, Brad. Okay, no, look, see how like condescending he is? He's so, don't do that. Okay, there we go.
All right, so you got it changed.
Yeah, asshole, man. Guy's a dick. Oh, look at that. Perfect. Just how I wanted it.
Pull our stuff learners.
Very nice. Get rid of this.
Like talking to a turkey.
Hey, easy with that shit.
I really busting your balls, buddy.
Yeah, I know. So does Brad.
We were saying earlier how dumb turkeys are.
Yeah.
How dumb what?
Turkeys.
How he was saying earlier how dumb a turkey is.
Oh, yeah.
You can use that next time someone pisses you off. Oh, fucking turkey. It'll be like, what? Okay. You would understand if you weren't so fucking dumb. You know what's funny is like I'm not really like aggressive with people like that in public, but my brother, he is, and it's funny as fuck. Like it's so like you can't help but just die laughing. Like I'm surprised he hasn't got his ass kicked more, to be honest.
Dude, might be going down. Wow, I don't know.
Might
Where's
be.
all the? Yeah, I'm looking at it. There's
You jumped on and brought in all your sellers with us.
There's some volume at 36 that they'd probably have to get below.
Couldn't get over that 42
35.
half. We made a lower low in the 1 minute too.
Yeah, that D high is a really mechanical high. So I'm gonna leave it on there just because it came right to the base of the singles. So we'll just have to, kind of notice that. I mean, I don't really see much telling us that the market wants to roll over, at least, but
yeah, and we can't forget that swing high was at like 34, 35, so I would assume there would be
a back test of that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna close out real quick and then make sure I save it as such, where I have everything set up. Do.
It came right back to that 50 and then powered up here. So funny how that thing actually acts as like a line in the sand a lot of times. Especially on a trend day, it does a really good job.
I wonder how long this is gonna last.
What's that? What do you?
I
Oh,
lost power at my house.
oh, dang, that sucks.
I don't know why though.
Are you guys having a storm?
No, it's freaking sunny outside.
Hmm.
Nothing going on.
Where do you live at, Stacy?
Texas.
Texas, huh?
Texas. Yeah, my dad's moving out there too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're not living in the part that you want to go to though. They're living in the nice part.
Dude, Cypress, Texas looks pretty nice.
Well, Cyprus, yeah, but Houston is a shithole. But if you're living outside, then you're not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Houston itself is a shithole.
Dude, I'm actually kind of sold on Oklahoma, dude.
Do you like cold? All right, so pay attention, guys. Here, if this thing holds the 39, this thing should be ripe for the upside. And we're seeing buyers come in this 42 quarter. But see if they try to hammer this thing down a little bit. But if they can't get it below 39, then it should be a buy. It looks like they're trying to kind of hold this area here. You're kind of seeing a little consolidation box finally starting to form. 42 to 36. If we can hold this top zone, that'd be awesome. You see the VPOC shift up to there at 42. So that's where they're trying to hammer in, is this 42. That's what I'm saying. Like if they're hammering this 42 in and they can't get below 39, it's only 3 points below, then we know that they're going to get scared if we get on the backside of them, and that should draw the market up to 50, right? 40, 50 is a very easy number to see above. So 40, 49 half. I'll be right back.
All right.
Jared, you could always, what do you call it? Hit duplicate entire chart book, right?
Uh-huh.
And then this way you save it. And then if you want to fool around with it, you know you don't screw up the original. You keep the original, and you'll have a whole nother entire chart book that you can play with. You know what I mean? That's usually
Yeah.
what I do. Then this
See,
way, if I
I
start
already
fooling
had
around with
one
the
where
chart,
I had a lot of things set up that I liked, but I wanted about 2 things off of his other one. So
yeah,
it was kind of nice that I could just duplicate it to my other one. That was cool. I just added it
yeah.
and repositioned them on my screen. So
What can I say? I'm generous, God.
I'm a generous God.
Seller's trying to come in right here at the 40. So they're hammering this low, but not getting any breakthrough.
Because we're going up.
Uh-huh.
And they're starting to figure it out. And they're like, oh shit. Oh shit.
Let's see, Nasdaq's looking to pop a little volume shelf here. And for those of you guys that load up my chart book, remember that the Nasdaq is on there, but I don't trade the Nasdaq the same way that I trade the ES. So we trade the ES here on the stream mostly, but the Nasdaq is just not traded the same. So if you're gonna trade the Nasdaq, one, be careful, and two, just know like my strategy is not the same on the Nasdaq because it wouldn't have worked. Knock knock. Back to 42. Weighted AD's trying to make a higher tick here. Oh, what's up?
Can I move my
Yeah,
at my desk?
no. Eat lunch at the kitchen table. Why, are your friends on the Zoom or something? Okay, that's fine then. Look at the NYSE AD as well. So we're at 1648. Remember we've talked about this. If it's above 1500, typically we really start to, break out into that trend. So, it's hard to be like, oh, well, it's going to break down from here because nothing is really kind of agreeing upon that. Now, if we start to, keep staying flat, and we've stayed pretty flat for a while now, you can kind of see the top of this is the 42, the low right here is like 36. We've been here since about 1129, so pretty much all of E period, small little range. We start to hang out below this 50 exponential moving average, the odds start to increase that we revisit the VWAP, especially as we spend more time moving sideways. You got to go where most people agree on price. And so far, I mean, that's kind of right here at this 42. But if it starts to, kind of hang out below, you start to see a lot of buyers that are probably buying the point of control, because that's how a lot of people trade, are going to have to capitulate. And then you've got those weak spots below. 33 is a weak spot. 36 is a weak spot. There is... What's this other week? Down to like 12. So, like I said, there's nothing telling us that we should be looking for the downside, but you always have to be kind of looking at both sides of the coin. That way, it just keeps you on track, right? Because, like I said, there's nothing telling us to be looking for the downside, and that can kind of lead people to get stuck in a long trade where they're like, well, I'm just going to sit in this long because it's going to come up. Everything is saying it's going to come up. And then it just kind of slowly bleeds down for the rest of the day. That's a possibility. Of this 42, and you kind of see this weak spot at 43. You assume there's probably some selling absorption trying to hold the market lower, or either just a lot of buying that can't get it going. What time is it? 11:47. Nice. Yeah, good work, Dan. Here we go. Let's see if we can get this continuation. So we're above that weak volume spot, that 43. And so right here, if you're long, right, because we never went back below the 39, we're looking for this thing to kind of pop above this volume and get into like this 47, 48. That's kind of where the last offer was at in this excess. So we can kind of see it, right? There's light volume, big volume, light volume, and then the rest of the volume starts. So we would assume if buyers are strong and shorts are weak, shorts will cover up until that offer spot again, and then maybe a reoffer from the 48. You know, slowly gaining ground here, but you know, that's kind of how long trades go. They're grinders a lot of times. That's why a lot of people like shorts so much, because they're like, oh, it happened so fast. And it's like, but it's so whippy. It's just like,
Remember that one I told you, Brad? Bulls take the stairs, bears take the window.
yeah, the window, yeah. I think I think a better analogy would be bulls take the stairs and bulls take the window, because like whenever buying just doesn't want to increase, they're just like, all right, sell it all. You know, it's like fucking mark it down, and it's just like fucking, and you get those liquidation breaks, and then it just like that throws the market into a panic. Offer trying to move down here. That 44, it looked like. If buyers can't get above this 43 half right here, you might want to flatten your position. You need to pop this up, but they're kind of fucking in a little weak sauce right here at this 43.
Oh, I got backticked right there.
Yeah. Offer move.
Because I got long at the 40-50. So I was like, it looked like they got above that 42. And I was like, if it gets back to 42, I'll just get flat. Actually, it was 42 quarter. And I got backticked.
Why are you so pussy?
Why are you so scared?
That shit had me dying. He's like, oh, why you American no like spicy? Oh, no, he'd say, why you white people no like spicy? He's like, you so pussy.
What's his name? Uncle Roger?
Uncle Roger, yeah, that shit is fucking. Oh, dude, I was showing it to Margaret. Had her dying too. That shit was so funny.
So one of our good like family friends is like Taiwanese dude. So she always says that hiya.
Do you show that to like? Do you show that kind of stuff to Kat's mom?
Oh yeah.
Does she laugh?
Oh, she thinks it's hilarious.
Yeah, yeah.
Hiya.
Have you ever seen Joe Coy?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, dude,
He's
he's Filipino, but like he like imitates like his mom and stuff, and it's funny as fuck.
Dude, it's so funny. Like, there was this one video, and the lady's like, "You don't have to wash the rice. You know, that's actually bad for the rice." She's like, "Hiya." He gets all mad. What do you mean you don't wash the rice?
Yeah, and then he's always like, American people so stupid.
Why you no want spicy?
Yeah, why you know what's spicy? That one had me dying.
Dude, me and Kat were cracking up last night. We called this Chinese place, right? And we're like trying to get some food to go. And it sounded just like Kat's mom, dude. Like whenever she said bye, she's like, okay, bye.
Where are they from?
Catchmon?
Yeah,
Singapore.
Singapore. Okay, they're like the rich Asians.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know where we need to go to eventually is Macau. That's where I think I want to go.
Where you go gamble, bro.
I know. That's what I'm saying. That's where I want to go.
Yeah.
What's there?
A fucking dope ass. Like it's like the Chinese Vegas. It's sick as fuck. Apparently, I was.
I don't know about going into China as a former U.S. military, bro. I don't think that's a smart idea.
Oh, you'd be fine.
Well, this is different. Like I don't think going anywhere as a former U.S. military, but if you're going to like a vacation spot like a Mexico or like fucking South America, like you'll be straight.
Well, that's how I always thought of it. What if I just picked up and wanted to travel the world? At any time, any country can grab me up and say I was a spy and throw me right into the jail.
Yeah, but how would they know you were military?
All you gotta do is look us up. You act like they don't have info on people. I don't know.
I mean, that just sounds too paranoid for me.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you'd be all right.
I don't think I'm top priority. You know what I mean? Like I'm not.
Maybe if you were high ranking. Yeah,
They've got
like,
they've got like bigger shit going on besides like me going to Macau to gamble. They're like, oh yes, come stupid American, you lose all your money.
yeah, like
Damn
maybe
it,
if
lost
you
some
were a
money.
general or something, they'd be like, all right, a general is here, like
Yeah, or if you're like a fucking black female basketball player, then maybe.
yeah.
A
But
little bit of hashish oil. Yeah, but yo, again, they brought back the basketball player and they left the fucking soldier over there. What do you mean?
Brad, did you ever watch that video I
hey,
sent
I
you?
don't make the rules of this. Like, who gets in trouble? I'm just saying, like, I think that you'll be fine. You know what I mean? They might try to, they might try to get, they might try to get you here in the United States with that beard you got. They think you're a fucking terrorist. You know
I'm
how
surprised they haven't said so.
you know how stereotypical they are. So
Brad, did you ever see that video I sent you? When it was like Brittany Griner when she gets back to practice, the coach is like, "So what happened?" And she's like, "Oh, they end up trading me for some guy named Victor something." And she's like, "The Merchant of Death." They traded you for the Merchant of Death.
she knew.
Yeah, exactly.
Like if yeah. And she must have just been pretending that she didn't know. Like you doubt her fucking lawyers didn't tell her that? Like get the fuck out of here. Some people think like Americans are just like so dumb. Like, we'll just pretend. It's like I mean, that situation was just all fucked anyways, but
Yeah, it's just crazy.
that guy should not like that guy. I mean, like I mean, whatever. We released him for an American. That's cool. I'm down for that. But
Are you fucking kidding me?
but
No,
but
I'm
listen. But the
They
thing
can
is
keep a
like
basketball star. We still have the Merchant of Death. Come on.
but we don't want to. I don't want to hear anything about gun control anymore because you just released a guy who like literally he said
he is the arms
in like
dealer.
he was like the Boston George of guns. You know, the guy was he was an animal, and if you think that letting him go,
About it.
yeah, Russia's not just going to be like, oh, we'll just put you in our prison. They're like, welcome back, comrade. Time to do what you do. Like, yeah, I guarantee.
They promoted his ass. What do you mean?
I mean, he wasn't even. He's from Ukraine. He's not Russian, but
I thought he was
Oh,
Russian.
is he?
he's from Ukraine.
No, I think he was Russian.
No, he's from Ukraine. I'm positive.
Yeah, from a time when it was Russia.
No, he's from Ukraine, bro.
Is he?
It's like my brother's favorite movie. I've seen it like 1,000 times. I mean, unless the movie's just super inaccurate and says he's Ukrainian. But yeah, he's from a Ukrainian family, and then when they moved to the United States, his dad pretended he was a Jew to get away from like the Russian persecution. Because people thought all the Ukrainians were Russians, like you guys. Racist. Can this thing just break out already? What are we waiting on?
He was born in Soviet Union.
He was born in, he's Ukrainian.
I mean, I just Googled it. I mean, he was born in January 1967 in Tajik SSR, Soviet Union.
Yeah, but then the Soviet Union dissolved, and he's Ukrainian.
I said he was in a time where it was Russia.
Well, you're wrong because it wasn't Russia, it was Soviet Union. So we're both wrong.
Whatever.
Still considered Mother Russia.
Listen,
We're both wrong, and you're still racist.
I fucking hate you.
That's how it goes. Like, you know what? I don't even give a fuck about being right. I just want you to be wrong.
I always tell Kat that. She's like, you always just think you're right. I'm like, listen, I'd agree with you, but then we'd both be wrong.
Jared acts tough in front of company. I'm fucking on the game. Cat comes in, lays on the law.
No,
Jared, I swear to God, if I hear anything above a whisper.
No, it's not like my boy Chase though, dude. That's
Oh
bad.
my God, dude, that is insanity. I would not. I don't know. I feel bad for him.
I know, dude. She beats him. That was once, and I got out of line.
But even his kids too, like his kid was like talking kind of shit to him while he was playing the game last time.
Damn.
I was like, better chill, little kid.
Yeah,
Fuck you.
I feel bad for him sometimes.
Your mind will slap the shit out of you. So remember we said 48. F period opens up. It's got to get continuation here. If it can't get above that open, we might just have to flatten out and try a little bit lower.
Yeah, I see the buy-in balance right there, like 46 or 45 3/4. Meaning they're getting a little aggressive, so they got to get back above that, or it's probably gonna head down. Because there's a selling balance above there too.
The tempo definitely drastically changed.
Yeah, it did get really slow. I'm lulling us to sleep here.
I've seen where it goes up on fucking low volume though.
Well, not the volume. He's talking about the tempo. Like just like
Oh,
the market basically kind of stopped moving for a second.
picked up right there. They're just stacking.
That's a liquidation right there. That look. But still making higher lows. And still kind of holding the trend here so far. Probably just has to give an opportunity for these guys at 43 to get filled.
Seems like a lot of excess in D.
Yeah, and the DI is mechanical too. So. They held that 42 again right there. Or 43, I mean. Decent sized sellers up here at the 43 half, 30 lot traders. All right, TJ, catch you later, man. All right, guys. Well, I think I'm gonna call it as well. I'll share my screen in the Discord, so if any guys want to jump in the Discord, I'll share it in there. I'm gonna go ahead and get some lunch and then get a workout and then see kind of what happens throughout the rest of the day. We're seeing the market kind of cool off here. We are kind of just balancing higher, right? We finally got 3 TPOs in a row. F is still inside of E period, and we're still, you know, for the most part, looking for a test of that 48. That's where that last offer was at. And that's going to kind of give us the sign if we're going to take this mechanical D high that's off, you know, the base of those singles, or if we're going to roll over. Really, you probably could just look at the profile like this. And you kind of see like a P-ish shape here, but we've got excess on the high. And so as the market comes back down towards this D low, there's probably going to be some responsive longs in there, whether they're shorts taking profit or whether they're actually new buyers. We'll kind of have to wait and see how the market acts, but there's probably some opportunity to fill in a little bit of structure down here as well. And then to the upside, like we said, a break of that D high, there's not really much above that. If we zoom all the way back, you can kind of see, you know, here's value lows 34, but we came right up to the base of those singles, and the point of control and VPOC is right there on the 78. So that's pretty much the next target to the upside if they fix this kind of weak high that we have today. But yeah, other than that, you guys have a wonderful day. Make sure that you're managing risk and sticking to your trade plan, and I will catch you guys later.